Every day, there are incredible preparedness deals floating around the internet, but who has time to dig through dozens of websites to find them? That's why we created preparedness.com, your one-stop site for the best prepper deals online. Our team scans the web, finds the biggest discounts on survival gear, food storage, water filters, radios, and more, and posts them in one easy place. No more wasting hours searching or missing out on limited time sales. At prepperfinds.com, you'll see the best deals every single day, so you can save money while stocking up on what really matters. Check it out today at prepperfinds.com. Bookmark it, visit daily, and never miss a deal that could keep your family prepared. That's prepperfinds.com, where smart preppers shop.
Survive, thrive, stay alive. It's time to get prepared with the Prepping Academy podcast.
Hey, welcome to the Prepping Academy podcast. I am Forrest. I'm your host. Hope you're doing well. Well, you guys are going to hate me on this one, but anyway, this one's going to be titled Overwhelmed to Prepare. It's like people, they start down this path of being prepared and they get overwhelmed, they get distracted, they don't know where to focus. Maybe their spouse is not on the same page. And so we're going to talk about some of these issues this evening. And I see this all the time. Being in this industry for 20 years, I see people, they come and go. And then all of a sudden, something happens. And all of a sudden, hey, there's Ron and Donna. They're back. Something scared them. They're going to start prepping for another, year and then or two. Then they'll fade away. Sometimes it's kids. Sometimes it's part of life. I'm not judging. I'm not. Everyone goes through different things and at different times, and it's not a judgment, but it's, if you take it more of a way of life as instead of something I need to do or we're going to die, it would be different. A lot of people are so scared they get into it and they just panic. That's not the best thing. That's the best thing for no one. I don't recommend that. And, and especially if you panic and your spouse doesn't panic, you're kind of screwed just a little bit. So anyway, you need to look saying, I want to be prepared. And how do I go about doing that? What do I need to learn? What do I need to buy? What are ways to go down this road and stay strong, stay committed? Meet new friends. Your friends will change, and sometimes that's a good thing. Let's be honest. Some of your friends are snooty, and you need to get new friends. Come on. Just being honest with you. Maybe not you, but you just need to kind of do a little preparedness to-do list and put it over time instead of we got to do it all next month or we're going to die. That has never turned out good for anyone. So we're going to look at a few things, and then I'm not going to apologize for it. There's some things I do that are mediocre. Let's be honest. But one of the best things I've done and I've produced for the preparedness industry is my book. And we're going to talk about my book. It's called The Preparedness Roadmap. And I wrote it for my friends that wanted to get in preparedness because they heard me talking about it. They knew that I was in preparedness. And so they were like, how? And I didn't want to sit. I'll be honest. I didn't want to sit. Okay. So I had my survival group, and we're rock solid. We're so far down the road and everything. But these are my friends and they're like, yeah, Forrest, can you teach us? And I'm like, oh, how lame is this going to be? Because I'm going to teach you, you're going to drop out, you're not going to listen because you don't listen to me anyway. And, you know, I had family members in this as well. And I'm like, yeah, they're going to listen to me and they're going to make fun of me and they're going to go, that's never going to happen. And, you know, everything. And I just didn't want to put up with it. So I'm like, you know what? I think I'll just write a book. And so if you go back to the very first part, actually, I didn't say that in the beginning. Oh, retract that. In the very beginning, if you go to podcast number 1, Uno. Go to podcast number 1. It was on this my book came from the first 5 podcasts of this show. Because I wanted them to I wanted to tell all of them at one time. And I'm like, I'll do a podcast. Maybe my friends will listen to it and they'll learn. And then I don't have to sit there and explain everything to them and tell them what to do. And they can't respond. And so that's why I did this, because I hate people. No, I don't hate all of them. Yeah. So, well, I don't know. That's to be determined. So I put together a podcast. And that's how this book idea came to my mind, is like, okay, the podcast, mediocre. Okay. You know, maybe I'll write it down and give them, you know, like a download and break it up in sections. And so that's what we did. But a lot of people get overwhelmed. They're scattered. They're guessing. I remember guessing when Y2K happened. That's when I became a prepper. I knew the bank system was fine. I was at Bank of America at the time. I knew the banking. We were fine. We tested for months. But my friend was at the largest power company in North Carolina that has major nuclear power plants. And the November before Y2K, he's telling me, Forrest, we can't get past the testing. We can't even check some of the code. It was written and can't even find people to be able to verify it. And they were getting fined and all this stuff. And I'm like, what? That's why I became a prepper, because I was kind of scared. My friend's telling me that nuclear power plants may melt down. And so all the wisdom I had in the world, I bought a Catadine water filter, which was like $329 for a water filter. What the heck? We bought salsa, chips, baby formula, diapers. We stored some water. Yeah, the salsa and chips, that was going to keep us alive for a long time. And that's what we did. We didn't know. And then when all that we passed, no one died, Y2K was over, I sat back and went, what the heck? I need to learn in case something like this happens again. And that's when I call myself a Y2K prepper. But I was guessing. I didn't know. I didn't even know you could go on the internet to find information. You know what I mean? Good or bad. So people they go on YouTube. They listen to the wrong people. They listen to the right people. They store food. They don't know how to store food. They buy random stuff. That would be cool if we get in a Monopoly game with really big fun, kids. And you're like, what? Okay. But anyway, which is fine. No problem. But they have no structure. They just keep on planning, buying and stuff. So when you survive, one of the first things you need is a group. You need a group of people. You need a tribe. You need other like-minded people, or you'll go insane, literally mad. I experienced that. I was the only one I knew. I couldn't tell my friends. I finally did. I told a few families and we started a group. Hey, let's take a quick break.
Has your data been hacked? Do you feel uneasy about the vulnerability of your personal information online? Were you involved in the Target, LinkedIn, or Microsoft data leaks? Don't know? If not, then pay attention. Join Forrest Garvin from PrepperNet for a free webinar on privacy and security. Gain insights into safe internet browsing, VPNs, crafting online aliases, secure emails, detecting if your data has been hacked, and managing passwords. Secure your spot today for this webinar on privacy and security. It's free. This webinar delves into comprehensive strategies for bolstering your online privacy. We've got you covered, from fortifying your passwords to shielding your financial information and mastering state-of-the-art encryption techniques. We're offering 2 convenient dates to suit your schedule. Reserve your spot now at preppernet.com/privacy. Don't let cyber threats erode your peace of mind any longer. Take the first step toward a safer, more secure online experience by joining us for our free webinar. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to safeguarding your privacy. Sign up now at preppernet.com/privacy. We'll see you there.
But you're going to need water, you're going to need shelter, you're going to need, communications, you're going to need fire, fuel, energy. There's so many things you need. So what do you do? What do you buy first? Go out and, buy a bunch of water, go out and buy some food. What do you do? How do I find my group? Where's my group? Where do I find the people in my group? So I wrote a book, and again, I hate tooting my own horn, but I'm going to, because I think that a lot of people have said that this is one of the best things that have helped them get started. And I wrote a book, and it's called The Preparedness Roadmap. You can get the hardback cover, which is kind of cool, which is I have in my hands right now. But I wrote this, put it together, and it literally it tells about prepping, tells about you need to be in a group. But then in the middle, there's a middle section, and there's 6 sections in the middle that break down in every 2 months. In the next 2 months, these are the things that I need to buy, I need to learn, and do. And it breaks it down for 2 months. And it's literally, for 2 months is what I need to buy, what I need to train and learn, and then what I need to maybe watch or read for mindset. So it's what you need to buy. You do need things. What you need to learn, your skills, but we need to also touch the mindset so you'll be ready for a disaster and how to think through a disaster and when to use your tools, when to bug out, and all this kind of stuff. So the book, the first chapter is kind of like, hey, preppers' dangerous secrets of like how we prep, how we like double our pantry, how we don't get crazy, don't tell people. And chapter 2 is prepping isn't the same for everyone. So how I do it and how you do it could be different. I'll tell you, I'm working with a guy right now that, I asked him how much money he had to spend on supplies. And he said anywhere to $500,000 to $1 million. I can tell you right now, that's not me. That's not me. I'm not spending that much money. Don't have that much money to put on prepping supplies. But people do it different. He's going to buy several pallets of food. And I'm like, hey, you got the money, do it. So, and I'm helping him with that. Then chapter 3 is like, it's a family. If you have a spouse, girlfriend, family members, mom, dad, you got to think about that. And you got to, so I'll write a whole chapter on how to deal with that, how to talk to them, some suggestions, how to get them from the dark side. You know what I mean? And then get ready. Like, okay, what's some things, if I'm going to start doing this, I need to have the right mindset just to start prepping. Just like, okay, I'm ready. And so then in the middle chapters 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, we talk about things you need to buy. And so not only do I say, hey, buy this flashlight, here is the actual flashlight, and here's why you need this flashlight. Because everyone always says, well, Forrest, just tell me what I need to buy. And I'm like, no, you need to experiment yourself. You need to figure it out. And then all of a sudden, people's like, Forrest, just tell me what to buy. What knife do I need to buy? You've already researched this and you already know. And I'm like, okay. So I put this whole section in there. This is what you need to buy. This one. Or something like this one. And literally there's a companion to the book where you can download, and it has the links to everything I talk about. So if you need, a water filter, go buy this one. This is the one you need to buy. Don't buy this one and this one. So that's what the, chapters 5 through 10 are about. That's 6 chapters. And it takes you through a whole year of what you need to buy, what you need to learn. Because the first month you're probably buying something to start a fire. Well, guess what? In the first 2 months, you learn how to start fires. Literally, how to take wood, put it in the tub or the pond, and then go out back and start a fire with it soaking wet. You're like, well, that's impossible. No, it's impossible for someone that doesn't have the right skills. And that's what we're going to learn. And in the book, we're going to learn the right skills to how to start a fire. Now, in the book, I don't teach this, but in my survival course that I teach live in the Charlotte area, I literally teach 15 different ways to start a fire, from rocks, from water, from ice, from air. I kid you not, from all kinds of things. 15 different ways to start a fire. So that's the middle chapters of this. And then we get into going public. How do you go out and find other people? How do you bring it up to other people? What do you look for? What questions do you say to someone? Because you want someone to go, hey man, I'm buying some food for the family just in case. And you're like, oh, what? Me too. So what are some key things to say or listen for to find out if any of your friends, because this is one of the most private things ever, is becoming a prepper, and how to say, and then how to put together a group. Now, I am currently writing a big group book. It's like the complete guide to survival groups. This isn't it, but you got to go through this before you get in a group. You should. Then we go into like storage tips and tricks on how to store your stuff, how to hide your stuff in your own house, your tools, your axes, your power supplies, your food, your water, everything that you need to hide, how to hide it within your own home. And then we talk about water, how to store water, how to purify water. And in chapter 15, it's all about training and about what you need to train. Just because you know how to do a fire one time doesn't mean you're proficient at it. And so put together a training schedule so you can test yourself and you can get better. And this book covers all that. And I'm telling you, if it wasn't my book, I'd still be telling you about this book. And then, medical, we go over medical. If it's cold weather, warm weather, what's some things, instead of just having, packing for all cold, packing for all warm, what's some other alternatives that you can have clothes that work in both? Layers, types of clothes, no cottons, how to prevent frostbite, how to protect your house when there's no power. We go through that. And then chapter 20 is all about, heirloom seeds, growing food. I'm not the biggest person on growing food. When there's a grid down, you need to store all your food. When things get safe, then you can grow some food. I'm just not the biggest. And actually Patrick and I are doing a podcast on that very soon about, have enough food to get through it and then worry about growing food, and then have something to get through you screwing up growing food. So, but learning how to grow things, learning your soil type, how to wet seeds, how to sprout seeds, all that kind of stuff. And then chapter 21 is bug out location. Okay, you might not want to stay where you are. You might want to go, do a partnership with a farmer. You might want to find a campground. You might want to find a camp where kids go. You might find a cave. I don't know. That one black and white movie, I forgot the name of it, from, what was the name of that? But anyway, so you might want to, and I talk about, bug out locations and how to go find partners, how to find people outside the city that you can go and literally prepare and hang out when the poop hits the fan. And then, we talk about communications, radios, comms plan for your family, satellite communications, solar crank radios, shortwave radios, how to do secret messages, the hobo symbols and call signs. We talk about I'm telling you, this is a good book. And if I knew the author, I am the author. Chapter 23 is, how to come up with some rules. So let's say you do go to Uncle Jed's house out in the country, and all of a sudden, Uncle Tom and Aunt Nancy come with their kids. What do you do? How do you handle that? What if the neighbors come? What if people come? How to handle that kind of situation? Because you might not be at your uncle's house. You could be at your own house. You could be somewhere else, just camping in the woods, and people just drop in on you. How do you handle that? And what do you do about the dogs? Oh, I can't stand talking about that. Oh, I can't stand talking about pets during a grid down. There shouldn't be any. So, but anyway, they'll get you killed. Okay. I'm just saying, my friend, you may have heard this story. He bought a 4,005. It was several $1,000, maybe $5,000 or $6,000 German Shepherd. And he said, Forrest, I'm going to get the best training in the world. And I'm like, you still can't bring that dog to our retreat. And he goes, what do you mean? I'm going to have it so trained, you're going to want this dog there. It will help protect us. I'm like, no, you're not going to bring the dog to the retreat. And so he spent all this money. That dog listened to his every command. He went through thousands of dollars of training. So I said, and I'm going to tell you, I'll call him M. I say, M, you can't control your dog all the time. He goes, I can. I said, you can't. I said, I bet I can make your dog bark anytime I want to. He goes, I bet you. We bet a steak dinner, actually, at the steak place. What's the steak place that we used? On Texas Roadhouse. I said, I bet you Texas steak, because we usually go there about once every few months. And he goes, okay, I bet you. So one night, this was like, okay, guys, I'll be honest, this is like 7 years ago. His wife called and said, we'll call her V. She said, hey, Forrest, can you pick up the kids on the way to youth group tonight? Because I can't take them. And M is out of town. I'm like, yeah. And I said, yeah, I can come by. And no, he wasn't out of town. He was just coming from work late or something like that. Because when I got there, he was there. So I went to their house. I went to their kitchen window and I banged on the kitchen window real loud. And I heard the dog in the side going, roo, 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 roo. So I ran around to the front yard and M met me there with a gun in his hands. Like, what the heck? Is that you? Because it frightened him, frightened the dog, and the dog barked. And I said, that dog just got you killed. And you owe me a steak dinner. Tell the kids I'm in the car. I'm just saying, you can't control. Anyway, chapter 25, secure your home. And you gotta, as you get supplies, as you get ready for all this, you need to hide it. So you don't need people walking your house or in the backyard going, wait a second, why does he have all them gas tanks over there? Or why does he have that or this? So you got to be, kind of, inconspicuous. So then, financial, talking about money, how to spend the money, how not to spend the money, where to spend the money. This book takes you like I was going to give it to my best friend or my best family member and say, read this. This book can save your life and get you ready for anything. That's what this book is. It took me a year in the making to put it together. It was actually the longest book it took me. It's not the longest book in text. It's over 200 and some pages, but it took me a long time because I wanted to hit everything in this book. And then I go through some prepper terms and acronyms and that kind of stuff. But the book is called The Preparedness Roadmap. And a friend of mine did the cover, and the back cover looks pretty cool. The Preparedness Roadmap. This is a plan for someone, even if you've been prepping for a few years, this could maybe get you back on course. Maybe you don't have some things in your preparedness right now in your preps that you're lacking. And this could absolutely kind of help you get, you maybe, get where you want to be and where you want. So check it out. You can go to Amazon. You can go to forrestgarvin.com. Any of my websites, you can kind of find it a way around through there. But Forrest Garvin, that's 2 R's, Forrest, Garvin.com. Nothing special there. That's my website. But there's a link there to Amazon. I don't sell them outside of just Amazon. So you can just go to Amazon and type in Forrest Garvin, 2 R's, or the Preparedness Roadmap. And again, I don't make a lot of money on this book. I'm never going to get rich on this book. I didn't do that for this. I did that to help people. And when you see the price and you see what the value is inside of it, it may be one of the best value books you ever bought. I'm just saying, that's my 2 cents. I'm a little partial. The guy that wrote that's really a genius. I didn't mean this. I meant to talk about my book, because I haven't talked about my book, I don't think, ever on the podcast that I can remember ever. It's The Preparedness Roadmap by Forrest Garvin. It's a great book to get you started, to get you to a year of prepping, and you will feel confident in your preps. And it tells you books to read and when to read them, movies to watch or shows to watch, like the Cellar, which is a Twilight Zone. You need to watch that, because you're like, oh my gosh, you learn so much from that. And then other movies to watch, books to read, and that helps you with your mindset. And we'll talk about it in the book and everything. So guys, so don't get overwhelmed. Get a plan, and I have a plan for you. It's called The Preparedness Roadmap. And you can buy it at Amazon. And guess what? When you get the book, there's a download. You can go to my website and download a thing that goes with the book. It literally goes with the book. It's the middle chapters where I have all the products, so you can at least see what I'm talking about when I talk about it in there. I have photos and I have links to go. So there it is. It's more than just a book. It could be your lifesaver. Anyway, hey guys, thank you for joining me. And hope to see you next time on the Prepping Academy. God bless you guys. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Prepping Academy podcast. Preppers Unite at www.preppingacademy.com.
Are you a prepper or homesteader looking to connect with like-minded people in your area? Looking to start your own preparedness group? Already have a group? Well, look no further than PrepperNet. PrepperNet is dedicated to personal responsibility, individual freedoms, and being self-reliant. PrepperNet has monthly meetings in over 100 cities where you can meet and learn with like-minded people in your area. PrepperNet, where preppers unite. Find us online at preppernet.com.